Hello, Dr. Flight here. Thank you for taking a look at this video, and this will be fairly short. This video will focus on how to use our discussion questions and how to submit a discussion question and so on. I've titled this How to DQ. I use DQ as just the shortened idea for discussion question. It is not how to Dairy Queen, although I think Dairy Queen would probably be pretty good right now. We got to stay focused, and we're going to talk a little bit about the exciting elements that are focused on the discussion question forums. After we're done with this video, though, then you can Dairy Queen all you want. All right, thanks. Talk to you soon. Okay, as we get started here, one of the great ideas about learning and about a university experience and a classroom experience is that you are able to interact with fellow classmates and with a professor, and together you walk along a journey of learning and you create a community of learning, and it's not an environment where you're by yourself and that information is just sent your way, but you're also able to generate information and send information back. So there's a kind of a back and forth process to learning, and it makes learning exciting and engaging, and we need to be able to get to that point, and my goal is for us to be able to do that. Here, even though this is in an online environment, you're absolutely part of a community of learners, and you'll have classmates who we all have personalities and interests. So one of our goals is to try to be able to express those. So in this class then, what we want to do is create an active learning environment, and we'll use discussion questions as one of the opportunities to do that. So this is just a short little video to help better understand what that process will be all about. And in doing so, as we look at discussion questions and as you think about a question, you're going to be able to talk about what you know, what you think, how you understand the material. You may be challenged. That's fine. That's okay. People may disagree or agree with what you think the content of the material is, or an opinion that you have in terms of how our content is applied to nonprofit organizations. And so discussions allow us to talk back and forth and support, defend, explain kind of our ideas and those of our classmates, but they also allow us to critically think and be challenged ourselves if somebody disagrees with us, or if we find a new perspective that we can provide. That is certainly what we want to be able to do, just like we'd be able to do in an online or an offline face-to-face environment. We want to be able to do that online as well. So how do you DQ? That's the big question. What's going to happen is you'll be given a topic to talk about, and you'll think about that topic and make what we call an initial post. In the initial post, you evaluate the discussion topic and you type out and you consider the post or your response in a post, and you allow the rest of the class to see your posts. Keys to success for an initial post. So these are technical things that will help you find a successful conclusion to this process. One is you want to be able to discuss the topic in depth. Don't simply state the obvious or restate the question or the topic that we're talking about. You need to be able to provide your own personal opinion and perspective on what we're talking about or what the discussion is about. So you will not get a very good grade, and you're not going to get a lot of very good feedback if you simply restate the topic that the discussion is supposed to be focused on. We want to be able to support our ideas externally. So when you make an initial post, include in that post citations and references from others who also support your point of view. So providing external evidence of your position by citing references helps confirm your ideas and to others. Finally, as you make your initial post, be sure to do so at least 48 hours before the discussion closes. So all of our discussions close on Saturday at midnight. So you want to make your initial post by Thursday at midnight. And the reason why is we need to have time to discuss. And if you're making your initial post right before the discussion closes, then nobody can have time to reply to you and to really think about what you're saying. So for full credit, you need to make your initial post 48 hours before the discussion closes. And again, I should mention that all of this is done on Blackboard, all on the SIUE website. So after you make your initial post, you want to be able to engage with your classmates. This is the big part of the whole process. Once you make your initial post, you can read your classmates' posts, and again, you want to get full credit for this, so you'll want to respond in writing to at least 3 or more classmates for your full credit. So more than 2 classmates, 3 or more classmates gives you a multiple perspective from which to draw. So you're going to look at least your opinion, but then 3 other classmates' opinions on the topic, and it helps expand your own perspective by looking and thinking about that many other points of view. You want to be able to provide feedback to your classmates. So continue the conversation. Expand on what your classmates are saying. Do not simply restate their post or merely agree with their post without pushing their idea further to form some additional conclusions. So simply saying, hey, yeah, I thought your post was great. Everything you said was super. I love what your ideas are. That's not very helpful to anybody. That doesn't really push our conversation forward. It's really not a discussion. That's not deep enough for what we're trying to do here in a community of learners. So be sure to engage thoughtfully with your classmates. And in your classmates' response, do so again early. So when our discussion boards close Saturday at midnight, you want to engage with your classmates at least 24 hours before the close, so at least by Friday at midnight. Okay, and then at that point, you can begin to reply to replies. So as people reply to you, you can reply back. And so that gives you all of Saturday and other days to continue the response back and forth. So a dialogue involves back and forth conversations, and keeping to the time frame allows you to do that. Pushing the conversation forward and adding content does that as well. So on Blackboard, you'll have the discussion boards. There'll be the discussion questions, and that'll be the environment for you to be able to get this done. There's also what is called the discussion question rubric, the DQ rubric. So this is the rubric for scoring your discussion questions that I'll use as the professor. As I read your responses, as I read your initial posts, and I look at the timestamps and things of that nature, make sure you understand your initial post is worth 25% of the overall discussion question rubric. Your response to classmates is worth 25%. So this includes meaningful sentences, not just weak sentences, but meaningful sentences that expand and develop the point of view and the topic. All right, we need more than 2 classmates. So 3 or more, so more than 2 classmates for full credit. And then other grading components, 15% on timeliness. So 15% on timeliness means 48 hours for your initial post. Remember, 48 hours here for the initial post, and then 24 hours before the due date for your responses. Okay, so if you're not getting your responses in on time, you don't get full credit. If you have weak or incomplete posts, responses or initial posts, you're not going to get complete credit. The other two areas, you need to make sure that you're using good language that is readable and understandable. So grammatical errors are going to be discounted, but only at 10% of your overall grade. And then cited references. Now this is important. Valid references help support your position. So in your initial post, cite other people who have had the same opinion you have, and make sure that you have those cited as references and you refer to them in your posts. Okay, so 2 valid references help support your conclusions. All right, and that's the rubric. This rubric is available on Blackboard. It's available when you do your discussion question, so it's there for you to see, but I want you to understand clearly how you're being graded on this process. Okay, finally, in summary, we're doing this whole process so that you can learn and better understand a topic under discussion. I want you to form opinions and be able to defend your thoughts and be able to show how your thoughts and have meaning beyond just you thinking it up. This should be a learning experience. So you're in a community of learners, so you should learn from your classmates' posts, and by looking at multiple perspectives, you should get a better understanding of the overall topic that we're talking about. I want you to be critical. I want you to be able to counter argue. So if somebody disagrees with you, you should justify your position, or if you disagree with somebody, explain why and show why you have that understanding. Be sure to post early, reply early so that the conversation can emerge. That's the timing on this is absolutely vital. It's a deal where there's a great impact on your assessment, but more importantly, your classmates are waiting on you to give you the feedback that they're looking for, and you're looking for feedback too. So discussions happen best when there's an active learning process. That has to happen early as possible. Okay, so this was the how to DQ. I look forward to learning more about this process and in terms of how this semester unfolds through your active discussions. Thanks.